evaluation session, but then it seems that today, especially when I listen to the first part of the meeting, the manual speech, alright, I think most of the speakers, they gave me this inspiration. I think I need to, maybe I will focus on this part first, alright. And then, now, it's like when you want to improve your language skill, right, alright, you have to understand not only the language itself, but also the ideology or maybe the culture behind the language, alright? And then it's like, this is what I want to talk about. Actually, I'm not sure if you have noticed this before. English, alright? Now, if you were to compare English and Chinese, English is a relatively efficient language, alright? So it's like, if you want to improve your speech, for example, maybe next time you can focus on the efficiency. Is this the most efficient way to express your idea? Alright, now, this is not just about the organization of idea. It also involves the language substructure. Alright, now maybe I will break it up into these two parts. Now, so what we mean by efficiency, alright, that means your language stays sharp and clear. Alright, be straight to the point. Alright, you don't need to like make so many twists and turns and before you or beat around the bush. Actually, we call it beat around the bush, like 拐弯抹角 in Chinese. Alright, you don't do that. Alright, just be straight to the point. And then sometimes I find it hard to be a language evaluator because alright, language is, I believe most of you agree, right? Language is a tool to express your idea. Alright? So I would say that if you want to improve your language, before you improve your language skill, I think you need to improve something about the organization skill. Alright? Organization of your idea. Because your idea would lead the use of language. Alright, this is what I think. Now, so what I'm actually trying to say, I'm beating around the bush a little bit. Alright, now, so it's like, if you look at the common presentation structure, if you not so clear about, especially I think for the manual speech, because you need to do a lot of preparation, alright, like for example, preparing the PowerPoint, and then it's like choose a topic or whatsoever, then it's like, I think this is quite useful. That usually when it comes to presentation for English, alright, English, we will usually start with the biggest picture. The biggest picture. That means the topic. Alright, we start with the big picture. Then, for this topic, alright, this topic. Now, why we start this way? Because it is more efficient. Alright, sometimes in Chinese, we will start with a little detail. And then we go to when we go deeper, or maybe when you talk more, then it's like we go bigger and bigger and bigger, and then at the end of your speech, your audience will know your purpose of the speech. Sometimes Chinese will organize that way, right? But then in English, no. If you take a look at any of the famous speeches, alright, they will always start with the main purpose. Alright, because this is the most efficient way. So maybe you can try that. Now, so it's like at the beginning of your speech, you will tell your audience about the main purpose of your speech. Alright, and there is another advantage of starting your speech with the biggest picture. That means telling your audience about the purpose of your speech, which is that you won't drift. Drift is something like talk something which is irrelevant to the topic. Sometimes we drift a little bit. Alright, 离题. Alright, so it's like if you start with the big picture, you won't drift so often, or you won't drift at all, because this is actually the area that you are going to focus on. Alright, if you were to drift, then I think you will realize. You realize that you're actually drifting from your topic, then you will come back. Alright, then you can divide your picture into subtopics, depending on how many subtopics that you have. Alright, and then for each subtopic, then you can start talking about the details. And I think it will be easier, especially the beginners, alright, the more relatively inexperienced speakers, because sometimes when you're running out of time, you can cut. Like for example, I prepared 10 details, alright, for my speech, but then it's like I realized that I only have 1 minute left. So what can you do? Alright, maybe you can cut some of the detail, but it's like your audience still understand the purpose or the main idea of your speech. Alright, yeah, so I think this is the common some way, all right, of organizing idea, all right. And then, okay, what about conclusion? Now, usually from conclusion, we will repeat our main idea. We call that emphasis, all right. Because why do we give a speech? Because we want our audience to remember our idea. So that's why at the end of your speech, it's like at the beginning you start with the main idea. Alright, then you start talking about the details. But somehow your audience may forget the main idea of your speech. And that's why in the conclusion you can repeat this main idea. So before you say goodbye to your audience, they will remember, refresh their memory a little bit. And then, so if you have any final comments, or if you have any suggestions, or maybe you want to make any prediction, alright, that means it's like, if you were to do this, I believe so and so will happen. That is prediction, alright. Yeah, so it's like you can put suggestion, final comments, or prediction at the, in the conclusion of your speech. Yeah, so this is usually the structure, alright, and this is the most common way, alright, because it matches the language style, alright, efficiency. Now, so this is one part, alright, this is about the idea, okay, and the other part, language structure. So it's like sometimes, now, if you are aware that English is an efficient language, then sometimes you can differentiate whether you are speaking English or speaking Chinglish. Alright, now I just want to take two examples. So it's like just now when I heard, alright, one of the speakers, he mentioned something like, okay, so we feel a sense of relaxing, alright, and then, so is this English or Chinglish? How do you know that? Now, first, okay, because this is a speech, right, so there will be no spelling mistake, alright, we don't spell, alright, when we are speaking, so it's like, okay, despite the spelling mistake, is there anything wrong with the grammar? Nothing wrong with the grammar, but you will say that it's Chinglish, right? And how can you tell? Why do you say that? How do you know it's not English? I have written everything in English.
I mean, it's not efficient.
So how to improve? Be straight to the point. Remember, be straight to the point. So it's like we can actually say, instead of saying this, alright, a chunk of words, alright, we can say that, you can just say that we feel relaxed. Just you use one word, relaxed, alright, and this is more like English, alright. Maybe one more example, alright, yeah, this one. I hear a lot of students, alright, they will say something is very something, alright, or something thing, alright, I don't know. So that is like they will put words in, the word order in this way, alright, yeah. Like for example, I often hear students when they are recommending Taiwanese food to me, they will say like, I just take stinky tofu as example. So they will say that stinky tofu is delicious food. So they will put this way. Now, so some people they will say that structure like this, it doesn't sound so much like English, right? It sounds a little bit Chinglish. You can tell that, oh, the speaker should be a Chinese, all right? Yes, he or she is thinking in terms of Chinese. So it's like, how can we improve? Love is, maybe we can say something like, love is something, can I write short form? Yeah, so it's like, love is something special. Maybe this would be better, the structure. Alright, so it's like, we stay sharp and clear. Or maybe you can say, love is something peculiar. Peculiar means something like special, alright? And then like, for example, this one, stinky tofu is a delicious food. We can just say stinky tofu is delicious, yes, and that's it. Alright, yeah, so it's like, I would say that, so my, just finish. All right, just to remind you my main idea. So English is an efficient language. All right, so you should be efficient not only in terms of the idea, but also the structure. All right, so you can actually cut out or maybe eliminate, all right, some of the unnecessary words. All right, it may be necessary in Chinese, but it may not be necessary in English. Yeah, so that's all I want to say for today. Yeah.